in general, so perhaps you have to say it was not love on the first view or something like this, yeah. But after that, sometimes the biggest love develops, and it's sometimes then even a bit deeper. And we have a really, really good relationship. And I think we're both unbelievably respectful and unbelievably happy for him that he gets so many compliments and well deserved. And he's doing a fantastic job. And we're both full of respect. And also, like, I think it's a good way. I always speak about there's no book where you can read how football works or how to be successful. There are always different ways and different approaches, and when you compare their style and our style, and also the style and philosophy of the club and of our club, I think they are different in many topics, similar in a few as well, but also like full of class and full of quality what he's doing, and I'm full of respect, and we have quite a good relationship, and that's definitely for sure. So we are quite often in touch and with many complimentary text messages as well. But yeah, tomorrow we'll be competitors, and I'm pretty sure that he wants the 3 points, I want the 3 points. But like I mentioned before, shake hand before the game, also after the game, and yeah, we have a quite good relationship. Yes, much improved the situation. Alex was already involved, also like nearly 30 minutes or 40 minutes during the last game, and was alright. And also Timo looks much better right now, so was not too bad, and they're both away.
Okay. You told us about Christoph Zimmermann earlier in the week needing to see a specialist. Has that happened? Are you clearer on his situation?
Yes, and this is a big boost. So yesterday he returned back on the training pitch, was with us, and yeah, we have to wait a bit how his body reacts right now, and also like we have a light session also this afternoon how he reacts, but it could be that he's involved also tomorrow, and there's at least a chance that he will travel with us, and that's definitely a big boost for us in general. Also that Tim Klose returned back to team training, so it was of course a bit special week, yeah, because of the cup game. It was not like we had a normal training week, but more or less a good start for him, and yeah, his body reacts quite good at the moment, and yeah, next week we'll have more or less a normal training week, and we'll see how his body then will adapt to the load. But he looks alright at the moment, and it's good to have Tim also in the dressing room and around, and also is an experienced lad, and also good for the spirit, and he's full of motivation and really excited to be back, and it's good for the group to have him back. Yeah, it would be of course disappointing, yeah, because we play football for fans, and football without fans, it's not the great stage, and it's not what we want to. If it is such a big problem, I think in Italy is much worse than it is here at the moment. Then perhaps you have to accept such a decision. But in general, so there's always like when there's a game without fans, it's always, I think, horrible for football, yeah, because we play football for fans and not just about results and from the business point of view. And for that, yeah, hopefully we can avoid this, but we have to wait how it develops over the next weeks. Yeah, first of all, I don't see them more or less like competitors or whatever. So it's more like I judge my strikers as a team, and for me it's important that we are there with many striker goals. And for me it's not important who scores. It's just important that we are there with striker goals. And also I have to mention Adam Eder, because I think he had also a decent impact in the cup game. He didn't score, but with his movements in behind, with his pace, he created many good situations. Also created space for his teammates. I'm pretty pleased with my strikers. Yeah, Timo obviously already with many goals, but also Josip, he was sadly injured that long anyhow. And for him, the most important point is to stay fit, and because. When I judge his last games in the starting lineup, Burnley he scored, also Tottenham he scored. And I was pretty pleased with him, because it was not a easy game for him, because he was not that involved, and perhaps he didn't look in this game that sharp like he was, for example, at Burnley, because it was a bit complicated. But he always has this appearance on the pitch that he could create something and could score, and he has this natural predatory instinct anyhow. And I tell you what, so quite often we speak about a goal, bicycle kick in the top corner, or Jamal's goal is then nominated for any prize or whatever. I would nominate this goal for a prize, because this is exactly what I was speaking about a few weeks ago when I spoke about this mentality a Hoover salesman. Yeah, because I tell you what, as a striker, 30 times you will make this run and you don't get the ball because the goalkeeper saves the ball or put it to the other side. But then there is this one moment when you bring yourself with this movement into the position in order to score. And this is important. You need to anticipate this and you need to be switched on in order to have this movement and not to be lazy and think, okay, I don't get the outcome. Probably the goalkeeper will save this. So be patient and go further on and always have this movement and to have this 29 times without any outcome and then to be there and score a goal. It's for me a really, really top class striker goal. And Josip is really blessed with this gift to have this anticipation. He has this natural born goal scorer instinct and you can't learn this. And I'm pretty happy that I have Josip, and he's also different in comparison to Timo, for example, also in this strength, and they come quite a lot, quite well together along, and for that, pretty pleased that I have them, and Josip is always in my mind. Yes, first of all, we have this experience from having important games during the week and then have to be switched on just a couple of days later. So also from last season, because we had so many midweek games also on championship level, and we are used to do this. If I'm honest, I'm not so concerned about the load. So really not at all. So the biggest problem was more or less the travel, because anyhow, I love our coach driver, but anyhow, I got the feeling if you have to pick one person who finds each and every road closure in the whole Western Europe, he's the guy to go for. So it's more like we found 2 or 3 on the travel back and arrived just 3:30 or something like this in the middle of the night, and the players were not at home before 4 and a bit tricky to sleep. So that's the biggest problem, if I'm honest. From the workload, not a problem, because our fitness level is outstanding. Also, when I think about my midfield players, we shared the load. So I think the midfield player with the biggest load was Tom Tribal, 88 minutes. So all the others just played 70 minutes or less. So not a problem at all. Yes, of course. So for my back 4, it was lots of load, but they are young lads. Yeah, Max Owen, Jamal Lewis, Ben Godfrey, even Grant Henley is not unbelievable old. So we put them 2 days in the ice bath and they will be ready to go. So no problem at all. And in the offense, we have also some recreated players. Andre Duda was not involved. Timo Pukki was not involved. Yes, for Emmy it was a bit tricky, if I'm honest. Also for Todd, but they're also both young and they're in the rhythm. With Emmy, perhaps even a bit. We have to be a bit more careful and have to have a late decision if it makes sense to bring him again in the starting lineup, because in the third game on this level, and there was lots of workload and he didn't play that much before, so it will be a late decision. But for all the others, I'm not concerned at all, and for that, yes, it was important to calm the nerves a bit down. Also, like to spend a lot concentration on recovery and just the training, the load during the training sessions were not too much. So for that, everything's okay, and we travel in good mood.